If you were to ever go to AA, NA, or anything like that, you would see people smoking like crazy. The reason for that is it's something they can still do. To get in touch with that altered state without getting handcuffed if a fucking cop pulls them over while they're doing it. You know? We can smoke cigarettes here. And according to the law, it's fine. It doesn't impair your shit. And I like them because I'm not addicted to them. And I don't smoke them very often. And I only buy them if I'm at risk of doing some dumb shit that I don't want to do. And I won't even normally finish the whole pack before I'm tired of it. But while I'm enjoying them, I'm fucking enjoying them. And God, I've been enjoying them today and last night. I'm so thankful that I have friends outside of I don't know, the mainstream, let's say, or even these groups that I'm a part of. And they're mostly musicians. John Zorn said, musicians are the best friend. Musicians, what did he say? Musicians are the best people. And I've found that to be true, especially in my adult life. Musicians are the most loyal, loving, creative, and understanding, empathic, sensitive, hilarious. But most of all, I've just found them to be so loyal. And I think since they're sensitive, a lot of them are addicted to drugs and alcohol. And that's where AA and NA fucks up, is they make a distinction between narcotics and alcohol, where I think that's a distinction that should not be made. Because it all stems from the same shit. It all stems from a craving for something else. When we get fucked up, which, by the way, can I just say how fucking glad I am that I'm not fucked up right now? It's so nice to not be fucked up. I don't want to name any names, but some friends have been really helpful to me lately. And I'm just always, but especially lately. And they're musicians. But we get fucked up. That's our craving. You know, the Buddha figured that shit out thousands of years ago. The root of all suffering is not the thing that's happening, it's the craving and the aversion. It's the I want this thing to happen that isn't happening, or I don't want this thing to happen that is happening. And that's the problem with addiction. I don't make a moral judgment. I don't think I do. Let's say this. I try not to make a moral judgment on anyone that's using a substance because I don't think it's the substance or the effect of the substance normally that is the problem. The problem is their craving. When I see someone who's an addict, or to use, AA or NA terminology, in active addiction, meaning, whatever. Doesn't matter what it is. They're drinking every night, or they're smoking weed all the time, or trust me, I've been there. I've fucking been there. And the suffering is the craving. And then it just fucks up their whole emotional and psychological chemistry. So they're kind of on this roller coaster. If you're around them, you're kind of on this roller coaster. You might find them in this low, or you might find them in this high. And both of them are kind of, I don't know, not to be trusted, not their whatever. I don't know what a true self is, but there's nothing balanced about their experience. There's nothing balanced about my experience when I'm getting fucked up all the time. So that's what I want away with for myself and for others. I'm not like, smoking weed is bad, or drinking is bad, or this or that is bad. It's not bad. It's bad if it's got its hooks in you and it's just fucking up your mood and mental. Like so many people that I know, and I really would never want to judge that too harshly, because I still have addictions myself. But thankfully they're not ones I would get arrested for if I was using it while I was driving. But even those can cause me suffering, and it's the craving. But what's good about those groups, like an NA group or an AA group, what's good about the group is the group. Because you can make eye contact with people. And eye contact is really important at eliminating shame. When we are seen and we see one another. That's really important, and especially with these fucking phones, like, you're not making eye contact with me right now. I'm not making eye contact with you. This is like entertainment. Maybe it's other things too, but I don't think it doesn't have the capacity to rid you of the shame that's causing the addiction. So these groups are wonderful. It doesn't have to be that, but we do need to be around people. This kind of tastes weird. We need to be around people that have experienced what we've experienced in some form or another. So I get irritated when, now you might not know this, You might be a fucking alcoholic. This is actually very possible and maybe even probable. You might be an alcoholic and you've never even been to an AA meeting. Or you might be an addict and you've never even been to an NA meeting. Maybe you don't think you have a problem, or maybe you don't even know that that's a potential resource for you to get yourself out of this problem. And it's just a problem. I say problem, it's the closest word I could find. I say problem because it's just fucking up your happiness. It fucks up my happiness when I'm in like fucking 24/7 craving, which is, in my case, if we are going to make the distinction, it's drugs. It's not. I was never really addicted to alcohol. I can drink like fucking crazy and then I don't, but I could, and I wouldn't want to do it the next day. I don't like the effects of it, but I think that's just like my own personal wiring and my own personal conditioning. Trust me, I've gotten fucking wasted probably hundreds of times, but it just never really got its hooks in me. Maybe it did a little bit over the pandemic, but even then, not really. But I wish we could all get together in a space, because a lot of you motherfuckers are addicts, of things that maybe aren't chemicals that you ingest, but maybe it's things that you do or don't do. Like being a workaholic, that can fuck up your life. I see people so driven. I've been accused of this too, but I tend to not really be too much like this. Sometimes I can get this way with music. I can get very work focused and shut everything out. But that kind of comes in fits and starts for me. It's not a permanent place that I rest. But I know people, and I would say I see it, unfortunately, I see it a lot. People that maybe don't have any substance problems, but they're workaholics, and it just totally fucks up their relationships. Totally fucks up their relationships. And, they want to be the best in their field. And so they often think that they kind of have to step on other people and be super cutthroat, so they're really defensive. Not always, but I would say usually. People that are, I won't name the professions, but people that are really, really driven, trying to make a lot of money or get some kind of fame in their field, and they just don't really have a lot of actual friends. Maybe they have people that are sycophants, and if you don't know what a sycophant is, as the great Giannis Papa said, get smarter. But they have people just, kissing their ass, but not, people that are like mesmerized by their skill in this one narrow field, but they're not loyal. Unfortunately, so these people, their workaholism can fuck up their life and fuck up their relationships and fuck up their health. What else? People just addicted to checking out, looking at their phone all the time. I can have problems with that too myself, but I tend to, that's not really totally my thing. I can fucking put it away and enjoy people's company or just being alone or whatever. I have my own addictions, but what else? What else can people be addicted to? Addicted to losing or not going for it or not speaking their mind or not like asking a chick out when they like her. Just this pattern of behavior it's like a feedback loop that they're stuck on. And I wish, this is like my fucking Martin Luther King I have a dream speech apparently, but I would like it if there was just, instead of NA or AA, it was just, what would it be called? AA, but instead of it being Alcoholics Anonymous, it's called Addicts Anonymous. And anyone can get in the room and talk about this habitual pattern that they have, that they feel shame about and they know is fucking up their life, because no addict that I have ever met. Is this true? Maybe I can think of one exception. Maybe I can think of maybe one exception. But all the hundreds of other addicts that I've met have a great deal of, whether conscious or unconscious, shame attached to their behavior that's, sabotaging, self-sabotaging their life. So I would really like to see it called AA. It's called Addicts Anonymous. It's all the same. And you can just walk in. Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm an addict. And you talk. And that doesn't necessarily mean, whatever. Smoking coke and shooting weed. As the great J. Cole once said. Yeah, it's just, wouldn't it be nice if we could all get together and just really sit in a circle and talk about our patterns of self-destruction and how, because we really are, we're all in the same gang. We're all in the same gang. And why I'm saying that is, again, if you've never been to an AA meeting or an NA meeting, you might not know what the fuck I'm referencing. But if you have, you do know what I'm referencing. And what I'm referencing is, for example, let's say you go to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, right? You don't have a problem with alcohol, like me. I don't have a problem with alcohol. If I was to say that, if I was to speak and be like, hey guys, I'm not an alcoholic. I am an addict though. I have had problems with narcotics in my life. A lot of those groups, I'm going to say like 4 out of 5 of those groups would ask you politely to just not speak and to just observe. And what that's called, it's called a closed meeting. Excuse me. Maybe that's called an open meeting. I'm forgetting the terminology. A closed meeting or open meeting is basically one where, I forget which one it's called. Open meeting might mean you can come, but you definitely can't talk if you don't have a problem with whatever substance is within that group that is holding the group. Now, I don't want to shit on these organizations too much because they are doing great work. They're consistent. And they're all really trying to get healthy and to get somewhere with their suffering. Like really, really trying. Might not be how I would run it, but whatever, I'm not running it. Because, like for me, like I said, I can smoke these fucking cigarettes and it's nothing. I'll throw these out on the way home. I probably won't smoke for a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, more. Because I'm just not addicted. And that's the people who should be smoking cigarettes. As if it's just not a problem for you. Like, for example, I'm not going to name any names. But one of my best friends best friends who I love the most on this planet. And we joke about this because he's, I don't even like using the term alcoholic for someone that's not. I also think it's stupid that you're like, I'm an alcoholic when you haven't drank in whatever. You know, if you're not using it and you're not craving it anymore, are you still that? But I don't know, that's kind of minutia. But one of my best friends, he has really been addicted to alcohol in his life. He's also been addicted to narcotics, but specifically alcohol. And he smokes weed at night, and it's just not for him, the weed is like the cigarettes. He'll smoke it, and then it just doesn't matter. Whereas for me, if I smoke weed, in general, not always, but it often leads to me just being like, oh my God, I'm gonna smoke 24/7. Like, I go, oh my God, why don't I do this every second of my life? And then now I'm in this cycle of habitual craving and aversion, craving, aversion, suffering, and it's brutal. Whereas I don't have a problem with alcohol, so I can go out to dinner with a beautiful woman, and if she wants to order a drink, I'll fucking order a drink too. I'll have a drink. That's when I drink. If I go out to dinner or go out to a bar with a beautiful woman, I'll have one drink. Maybe. Sometimes I won't even do that. But like, I'm not gonna fucking... There's no other occasion. There's no other occasion. You know, maybe if I see an old friend, you know, that I used to fucking throw him back with, maybe I'll have a drink. Maybe. But in general, I just don't really like it. So it's not a problem for me. So we joke that he can just like smoke weed and it's not a problem for him. In fact, it helps him not drink. And for me, maybe not at this moment, but I could see there being a circumstance where, like, maybe if I wanted to get fucked up, if I had a drink, maybe that would calm me down and I wouldn't go into my habitual patterns that I've previously had. So, you know, I just wish we could get to the root of the suffering a little bit more. I'm not looking to live in an enlightened society. That's a tall order. I don't even know that I want to be enlightened myself. But I do think we should stop dealing with the surface of the problem. Which is, you know, this moment-to-moment feeling, normally anxiety, which is just fear, or sadness, or anger. Here's the thing that I really don't like about, especially narcotics, what I've seen. The people that use narcotics oftentimes are very angry people. The people that I've known, and myself included, I have a ton of anger. But what we don't realize is that anger, if used properly, is a really good thing. It's our energy, it's our life force, and in fact, someone's getting angry. I see this all the time, and I've definitely done this in the past. I who knows what I'll do tomorrow, but I hope I don't do this ever again. It's like, be like, oh, I'm fucking angry right now. I need my meds. I gotta smoke some weed. And it's like, dude, maybe you should be pissed and fucking fix that thing you're pissed about. How about, you ever think about that? But that would take a lot of effort. That would take a hell of a lot more effort. Than going to the dispensary or whatever, going to see your man and getting stoned out. And alcohol, you see anger more in people using alcohol. Like, I think people use alcohol because they're sad, in my experience. I think people smoke pot because they're angry, and I'm painting with very broad strokes here. I think people typically smoke pot because they're angry and they don't want to feel that, or they think they shouldn't feel that. They're often like kind of hippie types, like, yeah, they kind of have this facade of like, oh, I'm chill with everything. They're not fucking chill. Stoners are some of the angriest people I've ever met. Don't be fooled by that shit. Is this lady coming for me? And alcoholics, I think, are sad. People smoke pot and then they chill. People drink and then they're happy. But then they also like get angry and fight, which is interesting. Anyways, that's my rant on substance. Part 1. I've been really fucking angry lately. Sad too, but a lot of it stemming from this injury I've been nursing. It's not even too bad. The injury is not even that bad, but it's enough where it's like, as my friend Mark McCann said, he's like, yeah, when you have an injury, you just can't charge. I just can't like go all out. I can still do a lot, and it's not affecting, my moment to moment discomfort. It's my shoulder. It only like will act up if I try to push it. Like if I'm swimming too long, or if I lift a weight that's like too heavy in a weird way, it'll start to hurt. So I need to rest, and that's been bumming me out. I gained a bunch of weight, which I don't feel great about. So I'm so used to being able to do a couple hard jiu-jitsu sessions and dropping weight if I gain a little weight, or like swim across Walden and back a couple times and drop a ton of weight. But I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to aggravate my shoulder any further. So I'm reinventing myself with diet, and what I'm realizing is that I was addicted. I'll even say I am addicted because I stopped doing it. I've been gradually stopping, but did I crave it today? I don't know. I've been addicted. I'll say I am addicted to dairy and gluten, and that shit is heavy. I come from an Italian-American family. I'm used to eating cheese and bread 24/7, and that shit's fine maybe if you're exercising all the time, but if your shoulder's a little hurt and you can't charge, you're gonna start putting on weight like I did. So I'm like, fuck. I gotta lose weight and I have to do it with diet now? This sucks. But that's all right. I have some good coaches. I've had such good coaches and such good teachers in my life. I've been so fucking blessed. I've had incredible jiu-jitsu coaches, and a lot of them if they saw me smoking cigarettes, they might bum out. But don't worry, this is not an everyday thing. This is just a little treat. Keep me on the rails. This is like my decaf coffee instead of getting a caffeinated coffee. But I have had such good coaches and teachers in the physical realm, in the mental realm, and in the spiritual realm, and they all kind of intersect anyway. But I have this new teacher in my life, this new coach in my life, who's helping me with diet. And goddamn is he powerful and incredible and so wonderful. And I haven't even met him in person yet, but I'm sure I will. But I've talked to him, and he's helping me a lot. Just by example, his fucking example. But also in things he said directly to me, and I'm really thankful for that. So I'm just working on reinventing myself with diet, and what I realized with cutting, who knows how long I'll last. Maybe I'll have a fucking cheese pizza for breakfast and tons of cream in my coffee. But what I'm realizing is you can manipulate your body with diet. And maybe that sounds like duh to you, but I've always kind of just eaten whatever the fuck I wanted and manipulated my body with exercise. And that's good too, but maybe you've never caught an injury that's fucked you up, but don't worry, you will if you live long enough. And you probably have. But you'll catch an injury, or you've caught an injury that a few weeks down the line you're like, fuck, you look in the mirror like, I'm losing weight. Like, man, my neck's getting big. Holy shit, whatever. You don't like how you look, or you don't like how you feel. So, all hope is not lost. You can just switch to diet. And diet just means what you do or do not put in your body. But I was like, fuck, this morning I had almond milk in my coffee. I was like, this tastes like shit. But I noticed I felt a lot better today, omitting the dairy. And omitting the gluten. That's something I've never really done. I've omitted dairy and gluten when I've done water fasts. But that's probably the only time I've ever omitted it. Is during I've done some prolonged water fasts. Done some prolonged water fasts in my life. Nothing major. I've never gone more than 3 days. But that's the only time I've ever omitted dairy and gluten, just because I didn't eat anything. But I'm giving it a shot right now, and I already feel different today. So injury or not, you're going to see me cut some fucking weight. Because I'm sick of how I feel. I don't want to be heavy. Anyways. What I want for you, I want for myself. Or what I want for myself, I would want for anyone. Which is, don't isolate when you're ready, Don't wait too long. And maybe even do it when you're not ready, but go to a group of some kind. It doesn't have to be NA or AA, but it could just be a group of your friends hanging out and fucking knitting. I don't care. Be with people. Don't take your phone. Actually connect, because that's when I feel my best. That's when I'm released from the fucking samsara of craving and aversion. Anyways, If you made it this long, cheers to you. But I'm gonna go home and go to bed. Sweet dreams, everyone.